In this course, I'm going to teach you how to do professional callout titles and also how to do advanced motion tracking. So basically, the titles that you are making, you are going to put them on the 3D space on the videos.
And just basically write anything that you want. I'll just write some senseless text just for design. Okay, I will make a text a bit smaller and I'll just duplicate. And I'll make it regular for sure, not the bold roboto. It will be regular one, and I will copy and paste this just to have more text in the secondary text for design for sure. Okay, now I'll duplicate all of it and bring the lines a bit closer to each other, just like this. I will adjust the text a bit more and make it smaller. I think this size is good. Great, we are almost done with the design. I will just bring the opacity down of the box to 70, just like this. And now we will start with the animation. We will start with the circle, the base of the line, and then we will do the other stuff. Now I will animate both of the circles together. I will just select both of them and we will animate the scale. So at the beginning we want the scale to be 0 to disappear, and then at the second one it will be full size. So we create our keyframes. Here is it. At the beginning they are 0 and at the second one they are full size. I will now give it some curves to make the animation smoother. Great. Now I will just move the layers in the timeline so they don't come together. I want the first circle and then the second one follow it, just like this. So as you can see, the first circle is a bit earlier than the second one. This is what we want. And now we will animate the line. So in the middle of the animation of the circle, we want the line to be animated, and we will do animation by the end and the start of the stroke. So basically we will play with the end. So we will animate the end from 0 to 100. This way we will be able to animate our line. Okay, I will just give it some curves to make the animation smoother. Okay, I think this is good. Now we will animate the box. So after the animation of the line, we want the box to be created. For the box animation, we will use the same thing as a line. We will animate the end of the stroke. To make the stroke disappear, put the end to whatever number start is. For my case, start is 22. I will put the end to 22 in the first keyframe. And the second one will be 100 for sure. So it will go from 22 to 100 to create the box. I will give ease to my keyframes and go to the curves to make the animation smoother. Just like this. Okay. Now we have this so far. Now we will animate the looking good and the box and also the other text. Okay, for the looking good text, we will go to the text and then animator, and we will give the opacity. Now we will animate the opacity of this text. We will go to opacity, put it on 0, and then range selector, advanced, and put the random on. And now we will play with the offset. We will give keyframe to offset. We will make the first keyframe 0, text will be disappeared, and the second one will be 100. Just like this, to 100. Now we have our text coming in, just like this. Now we will animate the background box. We want to give that flash effect. For that we will play with the opacity. We will give several keyframes when the opacity rise and down. So it will come from 0 to 70, and then it will go back to 0 to 100. Okay, we don't want the last keyframe to be 100, we want it to be 70. Okay, the last one, we will put it to 70. I will bring these keyframes together, select them, and hold down Option or Alt on the Windows and bring them together. Just like this. Let's see. Well, I think that at some point I put the opacity to 100. That one is too intense. I will bring that back to 70 now. Okay. Sorry, I selected all of them. Now all of them is 70. I'll just Control Z. Now I will just play with that one, the one that was 100. Okay, now we only change that and we have our animation back. Perfect, now we are left with the last text. We will animate this. We want to be right on, like this type of animation. We will go to text and animate, and then we will play with the opacity. We will put the opacity to 0 and then go to the offset. And we will give a keyframe to the offset from 0 to 100. Like this, we will have a right on animation. I think it's a bit fast. I'll make it a bit slower by moving the keyframe. By the way, guys, if you want to learn text animation in Adobe After Effects, I have a full course about text animation in Adobe After Effects. You can check it after finishing this course. Great, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed and learned something new. In the next lesson, we are going to create our second callout title animation. Around the circle, we will give it some stroke and disable the fill, just like this. I'll bring the anchor point of the square in the middle because you're going to rotate it. Give it the rotation animation. And now we will adjust the box. We will go to the end and the start. I will just remove the keyframes from the previous one because we're going to change everything from the box. So I want the line to only to be in the corner. One is in the right corner and the other one is in the left corner. I will duplicate it, Ctrl D, and by playing with the end and the start, I will take the line to be in the left corner, in the above side, just like this. So now we have both of the lines. Okay, now I will bring the background shape with the text from our previous title and paste it here. Now I will adjust it a bit to fit this design. Can bring the text to be above. Now we have the same text. I will just change the text. You can write anything. I will just write this because I have a video with Uber, so I'm going to write this. For sure I'm going to change the position and maybe the size. Okay, the size is good. Perfect. Now we will create the shape for our secondary text. Make sure that you're not selecting anything on the timeline. As you can see, I'm creating this shape layer and the previous one. Make sure nothing is selected and create your shape. Now we made it. Okay, now I brought my shape layer to where I want. I will just move around the anchor point so I can adjust my shape layer as I want. Okay, I think here it will be good. Enable the fill and you can later remove the stroke. Great, I'm still adjusting the size. I will now remove the stroke as well from it. Great. And then we will drop down the opacity to something around 70 or 80 something. Now we will add the text. I will just write deliciously tasty, and I know that deliciously is wrong, the spelling, but I'm going to correct this later. Now for the sake of the design, I will keep it like this. I'm using Roboto and make it bold. Great. And we'll change the color of the box to something reddish or between red and pink. I'm just making sure that my text is in the middle and it's aligned with other books. Now we are done with the design. We will go to do the animation. We have the animation for the stroke, for the circle, and for the books with the text. Now we will animate the lines, the two lines in the corner. We will animate them with the stroke, end, and start. Great, now we will animate our first line. We will go to the stroke and play with the end. We will put the end on whatever number the start is. The start is 77, and we will put the end to 77 in the first keyframe, and the second keyframe will be 100. So the first keyframe is 77 now. And now this is how our line appears. We will easy ease the keyframes and go to the curve to play with the curve and make it smoother. And now the second line, we will do the same thing for it. We will give a keyframe to the end. This will be the second keyframe. And then the first keyframe will be whatever number the start is. My start is 30, I will make it 30. And now the line is disappeared. I will easy ease the keyframes and go to curve and make it smoother, just like this. As you can see, our line draw like this. That's great. Now we will create the animation for our second text. We will select both of the shape and the text and press T. The opacity will appear, and we will give the keyframe for the opacity. We want to give that flash effect to this text animation as well. That's why I'm going to give several keyframes to the opacity. I will just copy keyframes and paste it. Sorry, you have to do it one by one. Copy, paste, copy, paste. So we have this, but it's a bit slow. I'm going to select them, press Alt and bring them together. Yes, still slow. I'll make it make these keyframes closer to each other. As you can see, guys, all the animation are coming together very nice. First is the circle, then the line, then the first text, and then the second text. If you have any problem with the timing, make sure you are moving the layers in the timeline to make it alright. Now we will do the last animation, which is the animation of this square. We will give the scale animation and rotation. So it will come after the circle. It's one of the first things that comes in the animation. So the circle, and then the square will come. I'll give an easy ease to these keyframes to make it smoother and go to the timeline, curve, and play with the curves. Guys, play with this setting if you don't have the curve editor like mine. Perfect, this is the scale animation that I want. I will just move this layer a bit closer to the circle animation and make it slower by moving the keyframes. I still need to adjust this, okay. I want a bit of the delay between the animation of the circle and the square. So I think this is good. Now press R to go to the rotation, and we will give the rotation to the circle. I will just give a long rotation. So from the first second to 12, it will rotate just like this. Perfect, now we successfully create our second callout title animation. We are one step closer to put them in videos and do the tracking. See you in the next lesson, and we will do the third and fourth callout title animation. In this lesson, we are going to create our third and fourth title animation. Before that, I will just correct this spelling, delicious. Great, now we will create our third callout title animation. I will name the composition 3. Okay, the animation of the circle and the square will be the same for this title animation. I'll just copy and paste it here. And the line also will be the same. I'll bring the line as well. Oh, sorry, I didn't copy it. Now I'll just click on the layer, copy, Ctrl C and Ctrl V. We don't need this point of the mask. I'll just remove it, just like this, and make it a bit longer. Okay, like this it's good. For the percentage circle, we will create a new solid. And then we will give a mask circle, ellipse tool. And now we have a circle, the percentage circle, and we will give the stroke effect, generate and stroke. Make sure all mask is selected and the pen style is on transparency. Great. I'll make it a bit thicker. Okay, and move it around there. And now we will play with the start. Okay, this will be the style, and then later we will animate it. Okay, sorry, I'll just move the mask a bit to the right place. Okay. Okay, the percentage I want to be 90%, that's why I will close the circle a bit more. Something like this is perfect. I will play with the brush size to play with the thickness of the percentage thing. And now we will add our text, which is 90%. Okay, I'll make it a bit bigger and put it in the middle. Perfect. Now we have this animation. We need to animate the circle and also animate the text. So I will give a keyframe to the start. It will be 100%. And the second keyframe will be 20, like this. Okay, I'll just make this easy ease and go to the curves to play with the smoothness of the animation. We want our circle to start a bit before the line finishes, so I'm just going to adjust the keyframes and adjust the position of the circle layer in the timeline. Great, now I'll animate the text. I will give a very simple animation, which is opacity. Press T. And now I will give keyframe to the opacity. The first keyframe will be 0 and the second one will be 100. This is how the text will appear. Now we will add a shape layer, an ellipse or a circle. This will be the background for our number, which is 90. Bring it under the 90 and I will change the color, something yellow or orangish. And I will play with the opacity as well. I will bring down the opacity a bit to something around 70. I think it'll be good. Okay. We need to animate this as well. We will give the same animation of the text. It will be opacity, just like this, and in the same time they will come together. This is perfect. We are done with this as well. And now we will start with our fourth title animation. Perfect. We are creating this one. So we will start with creating a new composition and we will name it 4. This is going to be a very easy one. We will create a new solid and we will go to the mask and rounded rectangle like this. So basically we are creating the text bubble. We will go to the mask and create some points here. Okay, no, one in the middle. Okay, this will be the base of our text bubble where it comes from. Just like this. I'll make it a bit narrower. Okay, I think we are fine like this. I will add an effect called gradient ramp to give it a color. I'll give it the same as iPhone colors, which will be green. So the first one will be light green, the start color, and the end color for the ramp will be a very dark green. And then I will move the ramp point in the screen, just like this. I'll make this a bit darker. Okay, I think we are good like this. And now we will do our text. I will write anything. I will write a message like this. Perfect. We will now adjust the text and also the font. We'll make it a bit smaller and make it light or regular Roboto. Okay, I will just bring the lines a bit closer to each other. And now we will change the font from light to regular, a bit thicker. Now I will adjust the size of the bubble, make it a bit smaller. Okay, like this. I think like this we are good. Now we will do the animation. And the first thing, we will start with the bubble. We will move the anchor point, press Y and bring the anchor point down because we want our animation to start here. We will give a scale animation. Our bubble will come from here. So the first keyframe will be 0 and the second one will be 100. We will give an easy ease and play with the curves to make it smoother. Let's see how it looks. Perfect, but I think it's a bit slow. I will make it a bit faster by moving the keyframes close to each other. Great, like this is good. Now the text animation, and instead of doing all this animation, I will just bring the text animation that we did in the first one and paste it here. This is our text. I will just copy this text and paste it on this text layer. Make it bigger and okay, like this. We want the text to come out when the bubble is almost finished from the animation. For that I will move the text layer in the timeline a bit so it comes in the right time, just like this. Amazing, we finished all our title animations, and the next lesson will be very exciting because you're adding these titles to videos with the motion tracking. See you all in the next lesson. In this lesson you are going to learn how to do motion tracking and add these titles to the 3D space in the videos. To download these clips, I will put the links in the description or in the class project. Okay, we will start with this video, and the first thing we are going to do, we will search for something that is dominant and visible in the entire video. In my case is the blue seat of the Uber bicycle. So I will just create a new composition. I will drag the clip and drop it on the composition icon. This way we create our composition. Now I want to cut the video to the duration where the blue seat is visible. Okay, so the seat disappears right here. I'll Ctrl+Shift+D to cut it. I'll nail it. And this is the part that you're going to do the track motion for it. Great. As we said, we are going to track this blue seat. For that, we will go to animation, and here we have several options for track motion. We have camera track or track camera and track motion, but I'm going to use Boris FX Mocha. This is a plugin that comes with the Adobe After Effects. If you have the latest one, you should have this with it. You just skip all of these things, and now we have our clip inside Mocha plugin. Great, I'm going to expand the window so all the tools appear in this plugin. great. Now we have all the tools. We will go to the mask and we will mask around the blue seat, just like this. Right click to finish this, great. And I will press this S and make sure it's covering the seat. Okay, make sure that the video is in the beginning and press T, track. Now it's going to track automatically. I'm going to speed up the video. If there is any problem, I'm going to stop the speed and fix it, and I will show you how to fix it. Perfect, our tracking finished, but there is some issues in the middle. Somewhere around here the mask is not perfect, so I'm going to just fix it. Go to this frame and fix it. Actually, we don't want to fix this, it tracked well. So just make sure you Control C, saving, or if you close it will tell you to save it. So save it and make sure you are saving it. Okay, great. Now you'll go to the Mocha effect and tracking data, create tracking data, and you will select the layer 1. This is the tracking information. We have the tracking information here now. In the export option, make sure you choose transform, and now create a null object. Right click, null object. We'll go to the effect again and export to null object. So the layer that we choose, it will be the null object, and now apply export. Now we have all the tracking data on this null object. So basically this null object is connected to the blue seat. Now we will bring one of our titles. I'm just going to play with its position, and also I will move it around in the timeline so it is coming in the right time and it is in the right place. Like this is good. Now we will parent it to the null object. If you don't have the parent tool, a toggle switch or right click here and go to parent and link, enable that, you will have it. And now click it and drag it to null object. Now our title is connected to the blue seat, but as you can see it's rotating. We don't want the rotation, so I'm going to disable the rotation. I will just click on it and disable with the clicking on the stopwatch. Okay, now we don't have the rotation. As you can see, our title has been rotated. I'm going to adjust it by clicking on my title. Now press W to bring the rotation tool. I'll make it straight like this. And now I'll play with the size, make it a bit smaller and adjust the position. Great, I think like this we are good. Now any other title, bring it in the timeline. Sorry, I'll just bring this in my timeline and connect it, parent it to the null object. I'll adjust the position and the size. Just like this. Perfect. Now we will do the second clip, which is this one. We will bring it in a new composition. We are going to track this orange lady. It disappears just here. So we're going to cut it, Ctrl+Shift+D, and remove it. Now this is the clip that you're going to do the motion tracking. Just select the clip and go to the animation and track voice effects Mocha. Open Mocha and go to the beginning of the clip. And now you will mask around the orange lady. So basically you are doing the same thing. You'll just mask around this, and you're not going to click on the S this time. And now click on the track. Now it is tracking automatically. It may lose the mask in a way, but we are going to stop it by pressing space, and we will adjust the mask. As you can see here, the orange lady is going out of the mask a bit. We're going to press space and adjust the mask and continue the tracking. Somewhere around here I'm going to adjust it again, just to have a perfect tracking. Great! Now we have a perfect tracking. Make sure you're saving it and close it. Then create a new null object. Now we will go to the effect on the video, tracking data, create track data, just like the other one. Great, we have tracking data. Export option will be transform, and export to will be null object that we created. Make sure you press apply export. Now we have this null object connected to this lady. Now we will bring any of our title that we made. Sorry, I always double click on it. I'll go to my layer and bring this one. Now I will adjust the size and the position in the composition, and also I'm going to play with the position in the timeline so it is coming in the right time. Okay, somewhere around here. Great. Now parent it to the null object. Just like the previous one, we don't want the rotation. As you can see, it rotates the title. We don't want that. So guys, everything we do here is the same as the previous one. I'm going to disable the rotation so we don't have the rotation animation on our title. And now I will fix the rotation and the timing. I will move it in the timeline so it's coming in the right time. Okay. Perfect. Like this, we are good to go. Okay, we can add more titles to this video. I'm going to add another one to the bicycle. So we have one on the lady and the second one. This one I want it to be on the bicycle. Don't forget to parent it to the null object. Sorry, I'm not going to keep it here. We will connect it to the bicycle. Just like this. Now we have two titles in this video. Guys, you can have anything. It doesn't have to be these titles. You can have a text or anything or a shape layer connected to your object. Now we have the tracking data of this orange lady on this null object. Anything that we connect to this null object will be connected to this lady. But don't forget, the position in the composition should be close to the lady or to the place that you have tracking data. So I'm just doing this for example. It's not perfect, but just to show you that you can connect anything to your objects. That's amazing. Now we will start with our third clip, and we are going to track one person of this crowd. And that person will be this lady because she's available during the whole clip, almost the whole clip, till the second 10 or 11. Okay, until here. We're going to cut our video, Ctrl-Shift-D, and click on it, go to animation and Mocha. So basically everything is like the previous one. We will mask the object that we want to track. In my case, it is this lady. The only thing different about this clip is this lady bypassed by a lot of other people which wear the same color, so our tracking will be misleaded and it will go to track other people. We have to adjust it during the tracking. So you'll just follow it. As you can see, our mask is already losing. I will just stop it by pressing space and move the mask around, and then we will continue our tracking. Again, someone is interrupting our mask, our tracking. I'm going to adjust it manually. Oh, these handles are a bit annoying to grab them. Okay, great, continue tracking. So I'll do this until the end of the clip. It's closing again. So So I always put the video to the frame where the mask is losing, and I will adjust that and press the track to retrack. Okay, perfect. Our tracking is done. Now I will just save it and close it. Save and close. Now create a null object, just like the previous one. Go to the clip, Mocha, tracking data, create track data, select the layer, and OK. Now go to the export option, transform and export to null object. And click apply export. Now we have all the tracking data on this null object. It is connected to this lady. Now we will bring one of our titles, which is the text bubble, and we will connect it. I'll just move it around so it's coming out in the right time, and resize and put it in the right position in the composition. Connect it to the null object. Like the one before, it is rotating. We don't want the rotation, so I'm just going to disable the rotation. Again, our title is rotated. Now you will just adjust that. Great, I think like this it's perfect. Isn't that amazing?